Hey CJ, this is Kurt. Hope everything's going well. I had your video lying around and I'm working on figuring out more about the serve. So I was going to do a 10 serve commentary on your serve, pair it with some pros, Roger Federer, maybe Andy Roddick and Andy Murray. See if there's anything glaring that maybe there's a difference, and also see the similarities, to show you that just a little bit about like my theories of the serve and everything like that, and just see what you're doing good and maybe some stuff that you might try out to see if you can improve your serve. So I guess let's just get going and see what happens. To start out with, this is your start. I like how your right leg's behind you, kind of like Roger Federer. About shoulder width apart. You're about shoulder width apart. Hands cocked. I like that. And let's see. You come down, and you're going to be tossing off your left hip, which I like that. I actually like how your wrist is a little bit tense here. I've gone over that and said that I like that because it feels like you're in control of the racket. The toss looks good. You're coming into your trophy pose right here, and already kind of told you that looking for a little bit more bow and arrow here. But let's go back and let's pair you with a little bit of what Roger Federer does to just see if everything looks about the same. So coming back here, coming back for the toss. Federer actually tosses the ball a little bit in front of his left hip, probably left hip. Racket is pretty cocked, kind of like yours. Toss comes up. Toss comes up. About the same position. Everything's looking really pretty good. And then here's where your wrist is a little bit, Federer's wrist is a little bit rotated this way, and maybe if you could show from this angle, show your strings a little bit more. So I have here's Andy Murray so here's his trophy pose, and you can kind of see his strings a little bit more. Here's Andy Murray at his trophy pose. You can see his strings. Serena Williams trophy pose. You can see her strings. I like how you have your good bend here, but so Serena doesn't get that much bow and arrow. Andy Murray doesn't get that much either, just a little bit. Andy Roddick is the guy I think does very well here. He gets really pretty good bow and arrow. That just stores energy so that when he comes up and he's able to go from that bow to vertical, and it's just like extending a bow, and all that energy stored turns into power in the serve. So let's get back to Federer, because I think both of y'all kind of leave your back foot here. This is where I think Federer has a little bit more weight on his front foot in this position. The ball's up. It looks like you're still sitting on your back leg a little bit, like your center of gravity is in between your legs, where I think his gravity is a little bit more on his front foot. It's hard to tell from this angle. Okay, and this is where you start seeing this racket come down and move down behind his head in what I call the racket drop. The racket never stops moving during the serve, and now it's coming down into racket drop. And this is where the shoulder is externally rotated, and he doesn't get, you know, that much rotation, pretty good rotation here, but this is where most of the power, I think, comes from in the serve. I've kind of taught. The legs have extended. He's in racket drop. So let's see what happens with your serve. So legs are starting to extend. This is where now look at the path of your racket. Let's first look at the path of Federer's racket. So here it is right here. It's going to come down, then come down into racket drop. And now he's going to start leading with the edge up in the ball. So what I'm looking for is, I'm kind of like looking for the strings to come down and then come down behind your head, and then the edge starting to lead up into the ball. So here's your racket. So you're kind of like, and here's racket drop for you. So when I see this, the racket flat, it looks a little bit different than anything I've seen in a pro swing. Let's go to Andy Murray here. So here's Andy Murray. His racket's going to come down and then up into the serve. So boom. Now his shoulders externally rotate. His racket's behind him. So I would say that right about here we're getting in the same spot. And see how his wrist is kind of behind him, and it's still kind of like holding on to, I guess just it's holding on to the racket. The edge is kind of pointing up here. Here you're laying your wrist down flat already, and there's only, you know, so what I'm kind of looking for is this wrist to kind of rotate a little bit more and have the edge facing up here. And so let's go to the next part where the racket drop is. So racket drops right here, and shoulders externally rotated. You've pulled down with your left shoulder. Your chest is open, which is good. You've extended your legs into the ball. Let's go to Federer here. So here's racket drop. He's extended, coming into the ball. Looks pretty similar. Good spot. And you know, I've kind of talked about this. I know this kind of hurts your shoulder and hurts mine just thinking about it, but the reason why I think Andy Rock is able to serve a lot faster than Federer. Federer is very good at placing the ball. He's got a lot of, you know, same toss. It's hard to reserve. He almost has as good a serve as Rock, but Andy Rock is able to get a lot of shoulder. So here's Andy Rock, a lot of shoulder, external arm rotation, shoulder rotation right here, and his racket's down here. And I really like this pose here. So where I can see your wrist here, his wrist, his shoulders rotated so far that I can't even see it. It's flat down there. He's going to start leading up with the edge going up into the ball. You're leading up with the edge, and here's leading up, and it looks like just from my point of view here, it looks like your arm has let almost strained out a little bit, whereas he's keeping a good rotation, shoulder rotation on his arm, and it fires, the arm comes up right